the El Camino de Santiago, an 800-kilometre Catholic pilgrimage across Spain, known as the Way. Me, a hedonistic heathen in search of cerveza, churros and bocadillos. But perhaps also faith, guidance and wisdom from beyond the way. We are pilgrims on the Camino. We are spiritual warriors.
Oh, some friends. Some people I can have some beers with.
Every day is a battle with our minds.
Got up half hour late. Oh my God, I'm going to be school late.
Every mile is a struggle with nature.
Oh my God, it is hot.
Every step is a fight against gravity.
Big friggin' hill. In fact, I'm going to call it a mountain. Makes me sound a little more manly. Big friggin' mountain.
Keep pushing. Keep struggling. Keep fighting. Stumbling across Jose's grave gives me pause to consider the day's labour.
You know, I set myself a goal this morning of walking 32 kilometres. This morning I was busting my balls to try and do that. And then I realised why. So I could end up like Jose. Already sprained my ankle twice today. I'm going to be a little kinder to myself.
I've only just made the pact to be kinder to myself.
And now I've already fallen in with a group of hard drinking, hard partying pilgrims.
And here's to Martin Sheen. God bless him. God bless him.
It's fair to say that my first and last memories of Peter are of him buying rounds of drinks for parched pilgrims.
But I met a different Peter, somewhere on the Meseta in the vast dry expanse between bars, where he shared his wisdom on the battlefield of the spirit.
I'd always been a rebel all my life. I was going nowhere. I'd failed at school. And my father thought I needed a challenge and he offered me 100 quid. I took it, and it was only when I took it and I joined the army did I realise the mistake I'd made. I went from a comfort zone into a zone that was so alien to me, and I felt ill at ease, terrified, but I learnt to adapt and to go with the flow, because there's no point going against the flow in the army because there'd only be one winner.
Meanwhile, on the Camino, I'm failing my lessons in adaptation. It is Friday the 13th, and I think that I have a shin splint in my left shin. Peter pointed out yesterday he doesn't think that my shoes are doing me any favours, and I've thought that from day one, but I mean, the idea of buying a new pair of boots feels ridiculous. There are certain rules to hiking. Don't litter, don't hug bears, and definitely don't hike in brand new boots that haven't been worn in yet. But you know what they say about rules, right?
The one rule in the army that you always obey, you never volunteer for anything. And like an idiot, up on the notice board saying they wanted soldiers to volunteer for Northern Ireland. And the next minute I was on active service in what was a particularly dangerous phase of the Northern Ireland campaign in 1972. So that was my first major deployment, and I was 18 at that time. Yes. And it was 3 weeks later that I'd been patrolling with the troops, and on the fourth day of me patrolling it, then we got blown up. As soon as the bomb went off, I cocked the machine gun, which means putting a round into the breech. I called up HQ to tell them what had happened, where we were. There was no fear, I didn't have time to be frightened. Though I would say 20 minutes later, when I saw the injured men on the road, I cried. A very good friend of mine shot 3 IRA terrorists, and you would think that he'd be proud of that, but he wasn't. He was ashamed that he had to do that. And I think that scarred him to the day he died. Up until now, I hadn't grieved for him, which has caused me a lot of anguish, and I think in many ways I hadn't come to terms with the fact that he'd gone. So at the 200-mile point, I stopped, I placed a stone on the wall in his memory, and I thought of him, and I sobbed, and I sobbed, and I sobbed, and rest in peace. I think at that moment I peaked on the Camino and I knew why I was here.
So I've iced it and put a compression bandage on it and compressed the crap out of this, and I'm going to take a taxi. So there, the voice of reason, as Peter kept saying, listen to the voice of reason. So I listened to the voice of reason, concede the loss of this battle, and taxi to the next town in search of ice packs, a pretty nurse, and a brand new pair of size 9s.
I've read numerous articles about the Camino provides prior to getting here, and I thought, what a load of rubbish. I always made sure that I thought I had everything in my rucksack that I needed, and I have suffered from terrible shoulder problems prior to getting here. My shoulder strap snapped. I was in agony. I couldn't walk any further, like a needle coming through my chest. And I got to the stage where I couldn't walk any further, and an American lady came around the corner with her son, and I told him about my problems with my rucksack, and lo and behold, he had the exact strapping that I needed to sort my rucksack out. The Camino certainly provided for me in a way I had not expected.
And unexpectedly for me, I found a pair of brand name, well-fitting, shiny old boots at a bargain price. The Camino provides. The Camino does provide, but not in some magical, mystical conjuring. It is by the good grace and compassion of your fellow pilgrims. The golden rule in all its glory.
And the one thing I've learnt about being in the army, you don't fight for Queen and country, you don't fight for your government, you fight for the man next to you, because that's all that matters when you're in the army, that's all that matters when you're in a crisis. What I've really, really experienced on the Camino is that same comradeship where everybody I've met, it doesn't matter what nationality they are, if they're in trouble and they need help, I would help. I've done that. I've come across a lady from America who was in extreme pain, and I didn't hesitate to give her my painkillers. I came across some Americans in the mountains who were in a bit of a crisis when the weather came down. I gave them all my food. We're all in the same boat here, and we've all got to help each other.
The golden rule appears in almost every religious and philosophical practice. It asks simply that you treat others as you wish to be treated.
I really love the experience, but I think you have to go through the low points on the Camino. You have to experience the pain, the tiredness, the anguish, to really appreciate the good points. Because when you're at your lowest, you will meet someone who will lift you and get you back to where you were. Because this is the ultimate, in my opinion, people experience.
Peter has walked the Camino twice again in the last 2 years, raising £10,000 for various returned services charities in the process. He continues to serve his fellow human with great spirit.
And great spirits.
And I always thought, when people said to me, this is a spiritual experience, I thought they were talking about it being a religious experience. It's not about religion at all. It's about you discovering yourself, your inner self, finding out about yourself, and finding out about your fellow human beings.
Humans have a propensity to shine in those darkest of hours. But why not always? The butterfly effect of making a few small gestures of kindness and compassion can flutter outwards and make profound change in these uncertain times.
So go out and hug somebody, rescue a kitten from a tree, or help an old man across the street. Unless he's got a hiking pack and a shell. Be brave, practice being a better person, and let's stand together in the face of uncertainty.
Tasty wine.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and share with someone who's helped you. Beyond the Way has a new project starting soon, and we're going to need your help. Here's a sneak peek.